It helps if you turn it back on. There you go. Stage 2 is sort of the in-between stage. People are working through the event. They are seeking information. You know, this is illustrated by the injured partner, and you guys have probably seen this. So tell me again what happened. What were you thinking? What was that? You know, wanting details, wanting information, wanting a mental picture. And you can really go overboard on that. But it is the working through phase. People are trying to restore some kind of equilibrium emotionally, cognitively. They're trying to make sense of what has happened, trying to make the world safe again. And so then in stage 3, what you see is a decrease in blaming. People have developed a sense of peace regarding their understanding, so they're sort of content with how they think about the betrayal and their partner, and they're able to move past it. Okay? Able to move on. And so we can actually measure this. There are inventories out there. One of them has questions about these 3 stages. People who say they've forgiven and then they endorse items like, I find myself withdrawing from interaction with my partner. My emotions about what happened change from day to day. I want to punish my partner. I keep trying to even the score. I'm making my partner pay. You know, those kinds of items. Those are what I think of as stage 1 items, or what we in the literature think of as stage 1 items. And then stage 3 items are those that sound like this. I feel I am ready to put what happened behind me. I know how I feel about continuing our relationship. I feel my emotions are under control. Understanding is more important than blaming. I can see both the positive and the negative aspects of our relationship, those kinds of things. When you study that actual survey and you try to figure out how it holds together as a survey, what are some of the psychometrics of it, how reliable and valid is it? Stage 1 and stage 3 look great. Stage 2 is just a mess. And it's because those people are a mess. They're inconsistent. One day they want to lash out at that person. The next day they really want to just make things okay and move on. So we were very frustrated at first. Why isn't this making sense? This questionnaire is awful. And then we realized, gosh, that really sort of portrays what's going on, and it's illustrated time and time again. So in our study, we looked at what we call positive forgiveness and then what we call negative forgiveness, which is just a weird term. So unforgiveness is what we started calling it. Positive forgiveness are what we think of as those stage 3 attributes. Peter Ustinov wrote, "Love is an act of endless forgiveness, a tender look, which becomes a habit." So those stage 3 attributes include things like increasing empathy, giving up that right to lash out or seek revenge, increasing compassion, all of those things. And then unforgiveness can be characterized by those stage 1 attributes. So the people who are still wanting to seek revenge, still grudge holding, still not sure what they want to do with that relationship. So Marlene Dietrich said, once a woman has forgiven her man, she must not reheat his sins for breakfast. And the people who are high in unforgiveness are constantly reheating those sins for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So in our research, we measured both of those dimensions. And you think, well, that just really doesn't make sense. If you're high in forgiveness, wouldn't you be low in unforgiveness? Well, not necessarily. Or think about it this way, if you're low in unforgiveness, are you high in forgiveness? If you're low in unforgiveness, are you high in positive forgiveness? Not necessarily. I might have given up the right to seek revenge upon you. I might not be holding a grudge or wanting to slash your tires anymore. But I'm not feeling empathic either. You can be... So for us, it was important to look at them as 2 different dimensions. What forgiveness is not. Forgiveness is not forgetting. Forgive and forget. How many of us were told that growing up? Forgive and forget. Oh, you can't forget. It's there. It's not the eternal sunshine of the spotless mind. We can't go erase those pieces, And I like to refer to self-deception there. It's no big deal. I'm over it. No, it's not affecting me. Meanwhile, I'm developing a gastric ulcer. That kind of stuff. Forgiveness is not necessarily reconciliation. That is a common misconception. People think, oh, I need to forgive that person. I'm not getting back together with that person. They're not the same thing, necessarily. You'll notice the item on the survey said, I know how I feel about continuing our relationship. It didn't say, oh, yeah, I'm going to continue the relationship. So forgiveness is not necessarily reconciliation. And this is really great and helpful for people who maybe need to forgive someone who's not there anymore. Maybe the person is deceased or in prison, or any variety of reasons why that person may not be there. It's also important to remember that forgiveness is not reconciliation, because there are times when forgiveness can be dangerous. The way people think about forgiveness, not as we're defining it, but just the common conception of forgiveness. If forgiveness means reconciliation to you, you might get locked into an abusive relationship that you feel you cannot leave. And there's a literature out there on what's called traumatic bonding and partner abuse, domestic violence situations, women who, it's typically women, it's also sometimes men though, who for whatever reason believe that forgiveness means staying with that partner, reconciling, and it gets reinforced because of what we call honeymoon behaviors. After an incident of abuse, he comes home with flowers and he promises to make it okay. And he vows his love for me so I don't leave. So to me, forgiveness means reconciliation and staying together. And that can be a very dangerous concept in those situations. Those of us who are Christians are familiar, and those of us maybe who are not are also familiar with this. In Ephesians, Paul wrote, do not let the sun go down on your anger. Don't go to bed angry. Oh, the times I heard that growing up. And it meant you just sweep it under the rug and you just go to bed. To my brother, okay, I forgive you. That kind of thing. That was forgiveness. You couldn't go to bed mad. And that, I think, is sort of a misinterpreted kind of thing. He's not saying forget about it and move on. Develop an ulcer or have a heart attack over it. So, as I've said, we wanted to know what implications forgiveness has for not just the individual, but marital functioning. Or in this case, we looked at married couples. And so I'm sure to some degree these findings also generalize to couples who are in committed relationships but not married. Parenting alliance, which is a concept that I'm very much into, and I have published a paper on parenting alliance using these data, but it didn't look at forgiveness, so that's why I'm not mentioning it here. So parenting alliance is that sense of teamwork between the two of us. How much do I value and respect you as a parent to as a co-parent to my child? Do I get the warm fuzzies when I see you playing with our child? That kind of thing. And then children's well-being. Children obviously observe a lot more than their parents realize, and they can become symptomatic over it even. So we wanted to know if forgiveness can have some positive, true forgiveness can have some positive ramifications for them.